Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today it is currently the 1st of October, so I thought we could spend some time talking about my October TBR today. So I actually don't know what's going to be on my October TBR yet. I'm going to be doing this video very much in the same style that I did my September TBR. A lot of you guys really seemed to like that video. I really enjoyed filming it, so I was very happy to see that so many of you also enjoyed it. So we're going to be doing that again today. But if you missed that one, basically I'm just going to be kind of going through my shelves, looking at what I have, selecting books that way instead of like me selecting them beforehand. I obviously do have an idea of what I want to put on my October TBR. I definitely do have some reading plans for October, but I also just want to see what other things I might happen to have on my shelves, what other things might kind of jump out at me. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm very, very excited. Obviously, I love putting together my October TBR. I dare say this is the most important TBR of the year for me personally. So we're just gonna get into it. We are going to get up, start going through my bookshelves. Obviously, I'm primarily gonna be focusing on my like spooky shelves that I have over there. But we will look through the rest of them as well just to see if anything jumps out. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and let's just get on into it. Obviously, I wanted to start out with my vampire shelf. I think for the most part, I've read every single book that's on this shelf aside from like just a few. I don't really know if I want to read any of these 3 books though, so I might just put them back. But there is a book I know I do want to read for sure. Well, I'm gonna read part of it at least. And that is Trick or Treat: A History of Halloween by Lisa Morton. This is a nonfiction book about Halloween. I told myself last year I was gonna finish this book. Didn't do that. I also don't think I'm gonna finish it this year. But I'd like to read a little bit more of it. I don't even think I'm this far into the book. I feel like maybe on page like 30, what, 30? Just 30. So I'd like to read a little bit of this. I don't think I want to read the whole thing, but like just a little taste could be nice for the season. And then I think anything else on this shelf is probably no. Dare I put From the Dust Returned. You know what? I'm gonna grab it out. I'm gonna grab it out. If I don't read it, that's okay, but I'd like to. Then moving up, I have like my basically non-vampire horror shelf, even though there are a few books on here that do have vampires in them. But what am I thinking for this month? I think I did buy this specifically to give it a reread in October, so I'll probably be rereading The Halloween Tree. This is a middle grade kind of Halloween-y, origin of Halloween type of story, and I read this like back in 2021 maybe. Want to give it a reread, so I'll grab this. I've contemplated reading The Body in the Library this month. I did just recently get this book and I feel like a murder mystery would be a good Halloween pick. But I could also go for the more appropriate Halloween party option. Maybe I'll grab this one. I'll grab this one out. This one might be a maybe. Will this year be the year I read The Vampire Lestat? Honestly, I'm gonna leave it on the shelf for now. I make no promises, but if I'm really feeling it, it could happen. But I just don't know if I have enough time because this is a long book. How long is this book? This is just about 550 pages. I don't know if I want to. I know I want to at some point. I just don't know if I want to right now. The rest of these I have read. That's a sequel. This, okay. I know I'm gonna read this probably. This would make more sense if I showed you a different book first, but we have Phantom of the Auditorium, a Goosebumps book by R.L. Stine. Obviously I want to read a Goosebumps book for Halloween. I bought this one specifically for another book that you'll never guess what that book could possibly be. But I want to read this after I read that specific book because I thought it would be fun. I found this at half price. I was like, oh my god, it's too good not to. And I think everything else on this shelf I've either read or I'm not gonna read. So we'll move on up. Moving on to classics. I do have one book for sure that I have to read that's on the shelf because Rebecca is my Patreon buddy read for the month and I am so excited to finally read this book. I wanted to read a more like classic book for my Patreon buddy read and I thought this one would be a good option because it's not like classic, it's more like modern classic kind of territory. Obviously I know the general like gist of the story, but I've never read it before, so I'm very excited to get into this one. I'm trying to think if I have any more spooky classics. I could finally read The Turn of the Screw. I've had the, okay, I'm really messing up the stack, but I've had The Turn of the Screw, this copy of it for a while, and it seems like a good October-y read. I think in this one we're following a woman who's becoming a governess for these 2 creepy children. I think they might be possessed. I'm not exactly sure, but maybe I'll read The Turn of the Screw. This one's a big maybe. Oh my god, this book smells so good, guys. I bought this book at a thrift store and it definitely has that secondhand book smell. And then a book that I got recently, which I'm definitely planning on reading in October, is another Penguin Little Black classic, because they recently came out with The Vampire by John Polidori in the Little Black classics and I was so excited, so I had to buy it. I believe this is kind of touted as like the actual first vampire story. I don't even know when it came out. I'll look up that and I'll tell you later. And then obviously something I need to pull off from the shelf is right here. We have The Legend of Sleepy Hollow by Washington Irving. This is one of my every year rereads. I must reread The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. Don't even get me started on it because I will start talking about it way too much, but the reread will be happening. So I'm not like reading this whole book. It's like 30 pages out of this book, but I'm so excited about it. I think I've done a great job at messing up this stack exponentially. Should I? You know, I never actually read any of the poems out of this in September. I'm gonna pull it down. Whether or not I actually read them, I make no promises, but I feel like, you know, maybe a poem a day in October could be cute. I'll think about it. I'll take it under consideration. All right, moving over a little bit, I have like more classics up here. I don't think I'm gonna read any of these. None of those are really, you know, sparking my fancy. I mean, I do have another copy of Rebecca up here. This was my mom's copy. I just didn't want to read out of it. I wanted like a paperback so I could annotate and stuff, but I do have this really pretty edition of Rebecca. That's going back on the shelf though. But I think on this shelf, I definitely have a few books that I'm gonna be reading. Obviously, I'd really like to read The Twisted Dead. Didn't read it in September. Would really like to read it this month. I am certainly not gonna pull out The Hollow Dead because I don't have that much faith in myself, but that is the next one in the series that I could read if I read The Twisted Dead. You know what, I'll pull it out anyway, just for fun. I am for sure gonna be reading The Carol Haunt. I'd like to read this one closer to Halloween, probably like my proper like Halloween vlog. I want to read this book because I feel like it's gonna be pretty spooky. And then also we have The Phantom of the Opera by Gaston Leroux. This is the book earlier that I said I was gonna read with The Phantom of the Auditorium. I mean, it's too fun not to, so hopefully gonna be reading this one. I think I'm gonna be reading this one very early in October. And let me see if there's anything else that I want to read. I don't know if there is. I think all of the like spookier books that I have on this shelf I've already read. I know at some point I would really like to reread The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson, but I don't think this year is the year for it. Oh, I do have a short story in here that I'm hoping to read. I'm gonna be, what is it called? Like Alala or something, which is like a vampire story from R.L. Stevenson, so might get around to that, but I think that's it for this shelf, and I don't think I have anything on any of the other shelves in this shelf specifically, so we'll move that way. All right, so my TBR is already looking very large, so I'm probably not gonna pull too many off of this shelf. I think everything on this top shelf I've read. Is that true? I think it is. But as for this shelf, I feel like I definitely have some, you know, I really want to read The Exorcism of Fairies. I got this book a few weeks ago. I've been so excited about it, but I don't think I want to read it in October. It doesn't feel like an October read. Should I make it an October read? I don't know. No, I'm gonna pull it off just because I'm very excited about this one and I want to see if I like it or not. It sounds so good. But I know I have a couple of recent acquisitions over here that I'm for sure going to be reading. Look how cute these are together. I mean, oh, I love them. But we have The Late Night Witches by Orly Wallace, and we have Uncharmed by Lucy Jane Wood. And I don't think there's anything like on the shelf under this that I'm gonna be reading. Is there anything else on this shelf entirely? I don't think so. That might be it for all of the books that are on my shelves. I do have some library books that I'm going to be reading as well, but I think that's everything that I own. I feel like all of the books that I want to read in October are like those shelves, so anything like this way, probably not. All right, books have been selected. Going into this video, I was like, you know, I maybe want like 10 books on my October TBR. Because I only managed to read like 8 books or something in September, which I'm still very happy about because I really enjoyed all of the reading that I did in September. But I was like, it's time to get realistic. It's time to stop putting so many books on my TBR. Meanwhile, I have at least like 15 books sitting in front of me, probably 20. Actually, don't worry, I just counted, it's only 19, so is that better? No. But I have split the books that I selected into 2 different categories. So I have like absolutely yes, and then like my maybes. So here are my maybes. We'll go through my maybes first, I think. I've been saying I'm gonna read Poems Bewitched and Haunted forever, honestly. I've had this book for a couple of years now at this point, and I keep being like, oh my god, like I should do a thing where I read like one every single day of like fall or October or whatever. Do I ever do that? No. But I'm thinking I'd actually like to try to do that in October. I think my problem is I keep putting it back on my shelf and like out of sight, out of mind kind of thing. So I'm going to put this on my bed so like I remember to do that. So maybe that'll happen. I'm really hoping it will. Then I have The Turn of the Screw. This one is really short, I think, Moonlight, like really short, but I think it's a shorter classic, you know? It is 156 pages. I feel like that's doable. I feel like this will just be a really great spooky classic for the season. Maybe I will read this like closer to Halloween, potentially. I don't know. Ugh. Again, it just smells so good. I love the smell of like these old mass market paperback classics. They always smell divine, honestly. Then we have The Exorcism of Fairies. I feel like the more I think about this, the more I'm probably not gonna be getting to it in October, but I'd like to keep it on the docket in case. It is kind of giving me more so November vibes. Should I take it off? I feel like I'm gonna take it off my October TBR. Oh, I just want to read it so bad. But I have so many other reading plans in October, so I don't think I can do it this month, unfortunately. Then I have The Halloween Tree. I am like most likely going to be giving this a reread, but because it's a reread, it's not on the like highest priority level, but I'd really like to experience this again, especially because I watched the movie last year for the first time and it made me want to reread it, so maybe this will be happening. Then I have a book that I've had, oh my god, it's been on so many TBRs. Halloween Party by Agatha Christie. This is a Poirot mystery. I'm aware that this isn't like actually the most Halloween-y thing, but like I can't read Halloween Party literally at any other time of year and feel wrong. Okay, so maybe I'll actually give this a read. I feel like this would be a good like 24-hour readathon kind of book, just like a fast murder mystery, although I don't really know if I would consider Agatha Christie's books like fast. They're fun, but like are they the fast murder mystery? I don't know, but maybe I'll get around to this. Regardless, I've had this on my TBR for like an eternity at this point, so I'd like to actually read it. Then I have the one short story, or actually I think there are two, because I would like to read The Body Snatcher as well. Hopefully I'll do this. I don't know. I feel like I have a lot of like short stories, shorter works on this TBR, and I feel like I don't do a good job at prioritizing those, so hopefully I can do that this month. And then I have The Hollow Dead. This one is in the tentative pile because I, you know, need to read The Twisted Dead first. I really want to continue on with the series. I just can't get myself to do it, but hopefully I'll read The Twisted Dead and then I'll have time to read this as well this month. Then I have a long-time TBR veteran, From the Dust Returned. I know, guys, I know. You're probably so tired of seeing this book on TBRs. But I need to get it down from my shelves. I need this to be like ingrained in my head. Well, not like this book, but like the fact that I need to read this book needs to be ingrained in my head, because why have I not gotten around to this? Perhaps I will also save this one for closer to Halloween. I know it's kind of like an Addams Family almost-ish kind of story. A weird family in this weird house. It literally sounds right up my alley. And then I also have, you know, like Trick or Treat: A History of Halloween. This one's in the maybe because I'm not going to be finishing this book, but I wouldn't mind just reading a little bit of this. Also, I like the section that it's open to. It's Halloween and pop culture, and it's talking about Halloween music. You know, honestly, I feel like maybe I'm going about this book the wrong way. I've just been trying to like read from start to finish and like just go for it, you know, but I feel like maybe I should skip around. Read some things that particularly interest me. I feel like that'll be better than trying to like get through bits that I'm not super interested in. I mean, I'm interested in all of it, obviously, but if I want to read, like, as much as I want to read of it, I feel like I should find the parts that I find more interesting. I feel like that makes sense, yeah. I don't know, much to think about, but I feel like maybe I've cracked it. I've cracked the code. Maybe I'll do it this year. So those are all of, like, my tentative reading plans, because I obviously have other very pressing reading plans as well. As I mentioned, I have The Vampire by John Polidori. This, no, this came out before Carmilla did. It's like a short story with vampires in it, and I think it's like the first evidence of vampires in like more modern literature, I guess. But this also has two other stories in it as well. It also has The Mysterious Stranger by Karl Adolf von Washman. I do not know how to pronounce that, I'm so sorry. And then it also has Dracula's Guest in here, which I have already read. I think my main priority is just to read The Vampire. That's like the main reason I bought this little black classic, so we'll be reading this for sure. Then I have a book from the library, which I am so excited about, and I'm hoping to read this in early October. I have The Resurrectionist by A. Ray Dunlap. This is a book that is set in 1800s Edinburgh, and I believe it is about like body snatching. I think it's somebody who perhaps wants to be like a doctor, but it sounds really good. I've heard great things about it from the couple of people that I've seen read it, so I cannot wait to read this one. I feel like it's gonna be so atmospheric and perfect for October. Then I have The Twisted Dead. we already know about her. Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. Very excited to get into this one. I have been wanting to read this one for so long, and I'm very interested just to see what I think about it. I'm also very excited to talk about this with my patrons. I feel like that'll be so fun. And if I like this, I will definitely be picking up some more of Daphne du Maurier's work. I know one short story that I really want to read from her is The Birds, because it's the story that The Birds, the Hitchcock film, was based on. If I can find that, I'd like to read that at some point. I'm not gonna say this month because we already see how the TBR is looking. But maybe at some point that'll happen, but first I'm gonna read Rebecca. Then I have The Late Night Witches by Orly Wallace. This is like witch taking on vampires on Prince Edward Island in the lead up to Halloween. Describe a book in a better way? You can't, honestly. I'm so excited about this, and I would definitely be reading this one in my own lead up to Halloween. Then I had to do my yearly reread of The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. There are some other like spookier short stories in here. I think I've read 2 of them maybe. I know I read The Spectre Bridegroom last year. I think I also read The Haunted House. I can't remember what I thought of either of them, but I'm obviously mainly excited to read The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. I just love this story so much. It is so perfect for October. If you want a book that is just so incredibly atmospheric for fall, pick it up. I mean, like, some people really don't like it. I feel like I've definitely seen some people online read this and be like, oh, like, this wasn't very good. What's it like to not have taste? No, I'm kidding. I just love it so much, and it is not Halloween unless I read The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. I also will be watching both the, like, late 90s Sleepy Hollow and also the Disney animated short. Love the Disney animated short so much. Love the other movie as well. So I'm gonna be doing like my trifecta of like all of those. Then I have another book that I'm gonna be reading very close to Halloween, and that is The Carol Haunt by Darcy Coates. This one I think is about a haunted house that they give tours of, and I think something bad happens on one of the tours. I've heard people say that this is one of Darcy Coates' best haunted house books, so I cannot wait to jump into this one. Then I have like a little, not really a tandem read, but like I'm going to be reading these like one after the other, because I have The Phantom of the Opera by Gaston Leroux and The Phantom of the Auditorium by R.L. Stine. So very excited about Phantom of the Opera. I have read like the first chapter, like back first day of fall actually is when I read the first chapter. But I have not continued it, so this will be like one of my beginning of October reads, and then I will read this swiftly after. And then finally, we have Rewitched by Lucy Jane Wood. This one says, a perfect witch must learn to embrace imperfection and live for herself in this spellbinding cozy fantasy. Am I the biggest fan of cozy fantasy? Typically, no. But I really enjoyed Rewitched, so I've been very excited about Uncharmed. I feel like this is just gonna be the perfect... Am I also gonna read this one in early October? When am I gonna read this book? I don't know. I'm gonna film a vlog like in the very beginning of October, and I feel like I just keep adding and adding onto the TBR for that vlog, and I'm like, I cannot read that many books in a week. Let's calm down. So I don't know when I'm gonna read this book, but like at some point throughout the month, I'm gonna read this book. So those are all of the books that are tentatively on my October TBR. Again, subject to change, subject to me not reading them. We'll see. I don't know. But I feel like this priority stack I will probably be making my way through pretty easily. So hopefully a lot of reading happens in October. I'm so excited that it is finally October. Obviously, I would love to know what books are you guys planning on reading in October? Do we have any of the same books on our October TBR? Do you have anything that you want to recommend to me? Do I need more books on my October TBR? No, but I'm always open to suggestions nonetheless, so do let me know. Also, before we go, I would like to thank everybody over on my Patreon. If you're ever looking for more content from me, that is always linked down below. We're doing some fun stuff in October. We are reading Rebecca. As I said, we are also doing a 5-day-long readathon. It is called the Haunted Happenings Readathon, and it is all about escaping a haunted house. I think it's gonna be fun, so if you want to come join us, you totally can. But with that, I'm gonna go. I hope you're all having an amazing October so far. I also hope you're just having an amazing Friday. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye!